Today, as you know, I am Kaylin, and today we're going to be discussing scheduled reports. Now, scheduled reports can be used, let's say, for printing a absenteeism report every morning. That's at 8:30, just to send that email that through to the head of department just to check who is absent and whether they truly are absent or just forgot to clock. You can also set up hours and clocking summary reports or any other report that is available on your system that can automatically either be emailed through if your email settings have been configured or saved to a specific file location. So this gets done in your configuration module. If you go to the setup, to the reports and then schedule reports screen, you can see that we've already got two reports that have been set up. So there we've got our current absenteeism, and we've also got a clockings report that gets sent through at 8:15 every morning. So if we want to go and add a new one, we just click on add. First of all, specify the report that you want to print. I'm just going to choose the hours and clocking summary report. You can specify whether it is triggered by a time, so like the other reports are set up to print at 8 o'clock and at 8:15 in the morning, or else you can also choose a request card where you can say, if you've got a proximity card or whatever, to swipe that card and it'll trigger this report to actually run at a specific device. You can trigger that with a specific card number. You can do that. We can obviously set up a time-based report. So we're going to select when does this report need to start printing, when's the first date. So I'm going to set this report to start printing from tomorrow, and at what time do I want this report to print. Now I know that there's already a report at 8 o'clock and at 8:15. The TNA clockings report, I'm going to say just for safety's sake, let's leave another 15 minutes in between that. So I want this report to print at 8:30. Okay, and how often do I want this report to print? I don't want this report to print every day, so I'm going to say, let's say every third day I wanted that to print, and I also want this to only print on a Monday and let's say a Thursday for argument's sake. So on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, I'm not too worried about that. I want that to print. You can specify if you want this to print once a week for argument's sake. So let's say every 7 days on a Monday it needs to print this clockings report. So let's just leave that there. We can put in a description. So what is the description of this report? I'm going to say this is an hours report. You can obviously make that description whatever you want that to be. And then you need to set the parameters of this report. So if we click on that button, we can specify. Now this is the same screen as when you're normally printing a report. You would then specify the same settings as you would normally choose there. You would then specify this report. So do you want this to be emailed? If you've got your email configured, you can email that. If this is a graphics report, then do you want it to go to Excel or to Word, or do you simply just want to save that to a file in a specific location? So you can choose then what you want that to be. I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to select my from date and my to date. Now let's say I'm printing this once a week, so what I want this to do is to print for the whole week prior to that Monday. So usually what you would do then, if let's say you're printing this report for today only or for yesterday, you would put in a function for today. Now in this case we want this to print for a week, so I'm going to say it's got to be today minus 7 days. I want that to print, and then I actually want this report to only print until yesterday. It mustn't print including today. So I'm going to say again, today is going to be the function I'm going to use, but I'm going to this time -1. So in other words, it's going to print until yesterday, so it won't include today. You can then specify all the other parameters that you want to have in there, and you can specify what you want your sort order to be. What group do you want it to print? Do you want it to print all non-terminated or just a specific group, a branch there, or just a specific employee for argument's sake? So you can specify all that, click on save, and you have then set up your scheduled report. So then every morning at 8:30, this report will run and it'll be then saved to a file, because that's how we have set that up. You can obviously go and change scheduled reports as well if you need to go and edit anything there, or then edit any parameters. Let's say you want to change this, you no longer want to print this every day, or you want to print it on a Saturday as well. If you've got guys working on a Saturday there, you can go and change those changes there. You can also create a shortcut. So let's say you want a instant, you can double click on the shortcut and it'll run this report with these parameters in it. You can also create a shortcut which will create that on your desktop. You can also then, to test this, if you want to, let's say you've got a report that's been set up to email, you can print that immediately just to test and see whether that report is actually coming through there. Now, I went quite quickly, with that pop-up that came up, but basically what happened there is it specified I had a date prior to today. So basically you cannot start a report to print it a few days back. Obviously the next time that it'll run is either then on today. Obviously 8 o'clock has already happened, but it'll obviously run from tomorrow then. It'll run that report. It is important to remember that your server module needs to be open in order for the report to, for the scheduled reports to actually run. So it makes use of that to send that information through. Obviously, if your server module is not open, it'll not run these scheduled reports then. And that's scheduled reports. Pretty simple. I hope that you have learned something and that you will join me next time. Goodbye.